all know about the heat treatment processes, I think. So I just going to be introduce about what is the heat treatment process. So after the casting process or after the manufacturing of the steel, that steel having some defects, impurities or cracks or cavities inside their body structure. So removing these stresses, we need to be carried out some heat treatment processes, or to modify their physical or mechanical properties we require the heat treatment processes. That process we call as the post processes after the manufacturing of the steel. So let's start this unit. So the heat treatment process is basically depends upon the triple T diagram. That diagram called as a time temperature transformation diagram. As previously we have seen that in iron carbon diagram, that there are some disadvantages of iron carbon diagram. That iron carbon diagram consists of some limitations. That limitations is the carbon sedimentation has not been explained in form of graphite. Then the most disadvantageous part is the time is not been mentioned over there. Time constraint is not mentioned. Transformation phase is not get explained properly over there, and the solidification of metal is not being complete at the conclusion part of the iron carbon diagram. So that all three limitations of iron carbon diagram is overcome by the triple T diagram. So that triple T diagram is also called as a time temperature transformation diagram, which consists of the time constants. And here we are explaining, we are going to be understand how the transformation getting takes place. So when we see these triple T diagram, that triple T diagram is usually used to study the steel transformations, right? So that particular triple T diagram is basically focused on the eutectoid system, where the transformation of gamma austenite into a pearlite, right? So here we can see that there is a triple T diagram where the eutectoid temperature is given over there, and that eutectoid gamma austenite get transformed into a new type of phases like pearlite, pearlite plus bainite, right? Bainite, then martensite like phases, right? So let's see how this transformation is going to be takes place. That x-axis indicates the time, and both of the y-axis indicates the temperature. One is degree centigrade and another is degree Kelvin, right? So here the gamma austenite is there. When we see a brown line, which is a fourth system where the gamma austenite get transformed into a pearlite. Getting me or not? When the gamma austenite or that gamma austenitic phase is allowed to be cooled down and then kept it for a longer period of time in isothermal condition, then we will get a pearlite type of the soft crystals, right? But in another case, another sample of gamma austenite get allowed to be cooled down fastly up to some extent of temperature, that is a 300 degrees centigrade temperature, and then allowed to be kept in an isothermal condition, and then we will get a bainite phase, right? In another case of gamma austenite sample, then we allow to cool down this gamma austenite sample below 300 degrees centigrade temperature, means 250 degrees centigrade temperature, and when we kept it in isothermal condition, we will get the martensite, right? And at the another case of gamma austenite sample, we will allow to cool down below 200 degrees centigrade temperature, then finally we will get martensite from austenite. Getting me or not? Right? So here the different types of heat treatment processes can be achieved with the help of triple T diagram. So what are the different type of heat treatment processes or heat treatment cycles is achieved with the help of heat treatment triple T diagram? Is that Martempering heat treatment cycle. That Martempering heat treatment cycle, in which the first cycle in which the gamma austenite is allowed to be cooled down fastly without any isothermal condition, then we will get a martensite. That's why that heat treatment cycle is a Martempering heat treatment cycle. Martensite is the very hardest metal. Getting me or not? right? So after Marr tempering heat treatment cycle, there is a Osch tempering heat treatment cycle. So it is another case for the Osch tempering heat treatment austenite, gamma austenite sample, where gamma austenite sample is allowed to be cooled down fastly, but after the above 200 degrees centigrade temperature, that gamma austenite sample is allowed to be cooled down in isothermal conditions for 1 to 2 hours. Then we will get a bainite type of crystal, which is lesser, harder than martensite, right? Then in patenting heat treatment cycle, where the sample of gamma austenite get allowed to cool down at above 300 degrees centigrade temperature, at a nose temperature we can say it is, and allowed to cool down in isothermal conditions for 2 to 3 hours, then we'll get the pearlite plus bainite phase, right? So this is a phase transformation. Now finally is isothermal heat treatment cycle, where we'll finally get the pearlite. So here the gamma austenite sample is allowed to cool down at 600 degrees centigrade temperature and kept in isothermal conditions for longer period of time, about 3 to 4 hours, right? And due to which the sample get, that gamma austenite get converted into the softer crystals of the fine pearlite. So here the different 4 type of heat treatment cycles, like Marr tempering, Osch tempering, patenting and isothermal annealing, right? Now what is the heat treatment cycle and what are its significance? Let's see. The heat treatment is a combination of heating and cooling operation or any sequence of 2 or more such operation applied to any material in order to modify its internal structure or to alter its physical, mechanical or chemical properties. Getting me or not? Right? Now, what are the different significance of heat treatment? All basic heat treatments involve transformation or decomposition of austenite. Product obtained from the heat treatment decides physical and mechanical properties of given steel. Material to be heated above critical temperature. A rate of heating is not so important. For thinner section, heating should be slow. A rate of cooling decides the final products. Right? So this is the significance. Now what is the objectives of it? Now the objective to increase the hardness, wear and abrasion resistance and cutting ability, to re-soften the steel after the cold working, to adjust other mechanical, physical, chemical properties such as tensile strength, microstructure, etc., to reduce or eliminate internal residual stresses, to decrease or increase the grain size. That's it. Now the another heat treatment cycle, basically which is heat treatment cycles which is occurred in eutectoid system, like annealing, hardening, normalizing, spheroidizing, stress relieving, we will see in next lecture. Thank you very much for today's lecture. We will see you next. Heat treatment cycle, hardening heat treatment cycle, normalizing heat treatment cycle, spheroidizing heat treatment cycle, and stress relieving heat treatment cycle. So let's start to see what is the annealing heat treatment cycle. Annealing heat treatment cycle is very popular heat treatment cycle used in industry. Basically, that annealing heat treatment cycle is used to re-soften the hardened metal to increase its mudseeability. Now, in annealing heat treatment cycle, we need to heat up the metal up to above its austenization temperature, like 910 degrees centigrade temperature, and then allow to cool down up to the 723 degrees centigrade temperature. That temperature was also called as the critical temperature. At this temperature, we need to be kept that metal at isothermal condition for about 1 to 2 hours. And in between this annealing heat treatment cycle, that metal get re-softened. Now next heat treatment cycle is a hardening heat treatment cycle, in which the metal get heat up to austenization temperature and then will cool down fastly up to 723 degrees centigrade temperature, and kept it and then allowed to cool down this metal in a salt bath, water bath at 723 degrees centigrade temperature. Then we will get the hardened metal. So this is the hardening heat treatment cycle. Next is the normalizing heat treatment cycle, In this heat treatment cycle, metal get heat up to 910 above austenation temperature and then get cooled down up to 723 degrees centigrade temperature in room temperature and allowed to cool down in room temperature. That's why we call it as a normalizing heat treatment cycle. Now, spheroidizing heat treatment cycle is also a stress relieving heat treatment cycle, or also we call it as a resorting of the metal, in which we are going to be minimize the carbide percentage or to spheroidize the crystal structure of the carbide or cementite in the metal structure to increase its machinability. In this heat treatment cycle, metal get allowed to heat up to 910 degrees centigrade temperature, that is austenation temperature, and allowed to cool down at the 723 degrees below 723 degrees centigrade temperature. And at this below 723 degrees centigrade temperature, we need to keep it for the isothermal condition is about 3 to 4 hours. Then we'll get a spheroidizing structure of the cementite and the steel. Right. Now, the stress relieving heat treatment cycle, that stress relieving heat treatment cycle is carried out in 3 stages. First is in which 150 degrees centigrade temperature to 200 degrees centigrade temperature, from 200 to 300 degrees centigrade temperature, from 300 to 400 degrees centigrade temperature, and 400 to 723 degrees centigrade temperature. In these different stages, this stress relieving is used to remove the stresses which is caused due to the foreign material trapping, cracks, cavities during the solidification or the casting process of the steel. So, stress relieving is a post heat treatment cycle which is carried out after the annealing, which is carried out after the hardening or normalizing heat treatment cycles. So, the stress relieving heat treatment cycle is a very important conventional type of heat treatment cycles. Now, non-conventional heat treatment cycle, in which 2 types of heat treatment cycles are there. First is flame hardening and another is the induction hardening heat treatment cycle. So, let's see first flame hardening heat treatment cycle, in which oxyacetylene flame is used to harden the metal, which is required apparatus, in which, as we have seen in diagram, that at the one end of this apparatus nozzle is fitted of the oxyacetylene flame. That flame is constantly moves on the metal part, which is used to heat up the metal, and the another end of this apparatus which sprinkles the water for the quenching of the metal simultaneously, which causes the hardening of metal instantly, and that process is very popular nowadays. It is a new process and very fast process in industry is used to harden the metal at its particular depth of the hardness, right. So, here we can see the diagram where one nozzle is used to give the heating with the help of flame, or with that flame is called as oxyacetylene flame, and the backside nozzle which is used to quench the heat up surfaces, and that apparatus needs to move forward where the hardening is required, right. So, this is a flame hardening heat treatment cycle. Now, next heat treatment cycle is the induction hardening heat treatment cycle. In this heat treatment cycle, the coil is high frequency electric power supply coil is used to harden the metal. Here we can see in the diagram that the coil in which a job get fixed, and this job get heat up with the help of high frequency electric current. That electric current get passes through this coil, and due to which eddy current get generated, and this eddy current gets start to be heat up to the job which is kept inside it, and after the heating the job get dropped into the water at the below sink for the water quenching, and the instant hardness get achieved on these surfaces. So, this is also a very fast and popular heat treatment process in the industry. So, that's all about the today's lecture. We will see in next lecture. Thank you very much.